Okay, so we have completed this chapter, Human Eye and World. Let's do few MCQ questions based on human eye. Take up the exercise questions on page number 197. The first question is, the human eye can focus objects at different distances by adjusting the focal length of the eyelids. This is due to presbyopia. Presbyopia is a defect in the eye, not possible. Due to accommodation, okay, nearsightedness, far-sightedness, all these three are the defects. So what is the correct option? Accommodation. Okay, by how can the eye lens be, the human eye can focus the different objects by adjusting its focal length, and what is it called? It is called as accommodation. Okay, so accommodation is the correct option. Question number 2 is, the human eye forms the image of an object at its cornea, iris, pupil, retina. I think everyone knows where is the image formed by the eye lens. It is at its retina. Next is, the least distance of distinct vision for a young adult with normal vision is about 25 meters, 2.5 centimeters, 25 centimeters, and 2.5 meters. What is the correct option? Everyone knows. C, that is 25 centimeters. Next is, the change in focal length of an eye lens is caused by the action of pupil, retina, ciliary muscles, iris. Okay, to change the focal length, which part is helping it? Ciliary muscles. Okay, so enough. So few questions here we have discussed. Now tell me any doubt in these two chapters. I think you can unmute and you can ask the
No,
doubt.
ma'am.
No doubt. Okay, very good. So these two chapters will be coming for term 1 exam, which is going to be held very shortly. Keep preparing these two chapters. Okay, today we'll start the next chapter.
Ma'am, which two chapters?
In physics, I'm talking. Okay, in total science, there will be a number of chapters. The chemistry and bio teachers will tell you. For physics, chapter number 10 and chapter number 11. Okay, this I'm talking only about physics, not about the whole science portion. For physics, these two chapters are there. Chemistry and bio, you can ask the respective teachers or they'll tell you. Okay, today we'll start the next chapter, which is electricity. Okay, this will not come in the term 1 exam. Okay, every day, any doubt, you can ask in this chapter number 10 and 11. First we'll clear those doubts and then we'll continue. Okay, we are not rushing up. We have got enough time now. So you can ask the doubts, keep studying. When you start studying, then only you will get the doubts. Okay, so start studying from the first topic of chapter number 10. Okay, and then continue. Whatever doubts in between come, you can note it down. Okay, and when I start the class, before the class, you can ask these doubts. Okay. Okay, electric current and the electric circuit. The first topic is electric current and electric circuit. First, let's read it. What is given in the book, then I'll explain. We are familiar with air current and water current. We know that flowing water constitutes water currents in rivers. Similarly, if the electric charge flows through a conductor, for example, through a metallic wire, we say that there is an electric current in the conductor. In a torch, we know that the cells or a battery provide the flow of charges or an electric current to the electric bulb to glow, to the torch bulb to glow. We have also seen that the torch gives light when its switch is on. What does a switch do? A switch makes a conducting link between the cell and the bulb. Okay. So what is a switch? Switch is the link between the source of current. What is the source of current? A cell or a battery. For example, like in a case of a torch we are discussing. Okay, so there is a switch. Switch is the link between the source of current and the whole circuit. Okay, so a switch makes a conducting link between the cell and the bulb. Okay, in case of a torch, what is there? There is a bulb and there is a switch. Okay, and there is a cell or a battery. So this switch is the link between the cell and the bulb. A continuous and closed path of an electric circuit is of an electric current is known as electric circuit. Okay, so continuously the electric current is flowing in a closed path. Okay, in a closed path, if the electric current is flowing, such a circuit we call it as electric circuit. So electric circuit is the continuous flow of the charges through a closed path. Okay, or you may say the continuous flow of electric current through a closed path, that we call it as electric circuit. Now if the circuit is broken anywhere or the switch is turned off, what happens? The current stops flowing and the bulb does not glow. Is it so? When you put up the switch of a torch bulb, what happens? The bulb does not glow. Why? Because the link has broken. Now the circuit is not complete. Now the electric charges are not flowing in a continuous closed path. Okay, so the continuous flow of the electric charges in a closed path. Okay, the path should be closed. So in a closed path, the continuous flow of charges, we call it as, it is an electric circuit. Okay, if the switch is off, then the current stops flowing. Okay, the circuit is broken and the bulb does not glow. Okay, so what is the function of the switch over here? Switch is giving the conducting link between the cell or the battery and the electric bulb and the torch bulb. So it is giving the link. If you put it on, then the link is there. So then there will be a closed path. Okay, and the charges will flow in that closed path. Okay, so we say that the electric current is flowing. But when the switch is off, what happens? The path is broken. So now the charges cannot flow in the closed path. Okay, and that is why the bulb does not glow. Okay, so how do we express electric current? Electric current is expressed by the amount of charge flowing through a particular area in a unit time. So electric current is defined as, it is the flow of electric charges per unit time. Flow of electric charges per unit time, we call it as electric current. Now how to define electric current? Defined as the flow of the electric charges per unit time. In other words, it is the rate of flow of electric charges, or you can say that flow of charges per unit time, or you can say rate of flow of charges. Rate means anything divided by time. Like if we say that the rate of velocity is acceleration, that is the change in velocity per unit time. Okay, so the rate of flow of charges, we call it as electric current. Okay, so electric current was expressed to, next bit from here, in circuits using metallic wires. Electrons constitute the flow of charges. Now, which charges are flowing through that metallic wire? There are only two kinds of charges, positive charges and negative charges. Okay, and what are the negative charges? Electrons. So, in metallic wires, in metals, what are the free charges? Electrons. So the electrons start flowing from one end of the metallic wire to the other end of the metallic wire. Okay, so what happens? The electric charge is continuously flowing. Okay, now we say that in the conductor, the electric charge is continuously flowing means which charge is flowing? Electrons are flowing. In circuits using metallic wires, electrons constitute the flow of charges. However, electrons were not known at the time when the phenomenon of electricity was first observed. So electric current was considered to be the flow of the positive charges, and the direction of the flow of the positive charges was taken direction of electric current. Conventionally, in an electric circuit, the direction of the electric current is taken opposite to the direction of the flow of electrons, which are the negative charges. Okay, long back, these electrons were not discovered. Okay, so whenever the charges are flowing, the current was considered as it is the flow of the positive charges. But later on, electrons were discovered, and it was found that what is flowing through the conductor, it is not the positive charges, it is the electrons which are flowing from one end of the metallic wire to the other end. Okay, so now the conventional direction of current was taken as opposite to the flow of electrons. That is one and the same thing. Flow of the positive charges, which will be opposite to the flow of electrons. Okay, so initially, long back, the electrons were not discovered, and it was said that the conventional direction of the electric current is due to the flow of positive charges. The positive charges are flowing from one end to the other, so this is the conventional direction of current. Okay, current is a scalar quantity, it doesn't have any direction. We'll come to it later on. Okay, first try to understand this. Okay, so the flow of positive charges was considered as the conventional flow of the electric current. So the electric current was considered as it is the flow of the positive charges in whichever direction the positive charges are flowing, that is the direction of current. But later on, these negative charges, electrons were discovered, and it was found that what is flowing through the metallic conductor, it is the electrons, not the positive charges. Electrons or negative charges. So the electrons are flowing from one end to the other end of the metallic wire. Now, what conventional direction of current was given? Because positive charges are not flowing. What was flowing? Electrons. So they gave the direction, conventional direction of the current to be opposite to the flow of electrons. Now, what do we consider? The conventional direction of the electric current is opposite to the flow of electrons. Now, whenever asked that what is the direction, conventional direction of electric current, we say that it is opposite to the flow of electrons. Okay, so on this page we have studied about electric circuit, switch, okay, and which charges are flowing, what is the conventional direction of electric current. Okay, so before proceeding, write few questions. Take out your copy, a fresh page, write down chapter number 12, electricity. Write the first question. What is an electric circuit? What is an electric circuit? Yes, how will you define electric circuit? A continuous and closed path of electric current. A continuous and closed path of electric current. Okay, you can write the answer also. A continuous and closed path of electric current. Okay, continuously it is flowing, and it should be the closed path. No breaking at any point should be there. So a continuous and closed path of electric current is called as electric circuit. Okay, written. Next is, what is a switch? Write the next question. What is a switch? Okay, what is a switch? Switch is the conducting link between the source of current may be a cell or a battery, and the rest of the components in the electric circuit, like in the torch there is a bulb only. So it is the conducting link between the cell and the rest of the components, like in the torch there is only a bulb. So we can say that in case of a torch, it is a conducting link between the cell and the bulb. Okay, so write down. A switch gives a conducting link. A switch gives a conducting link between the cell and and rest of the components in an electric circuit, and rest of the components. Okay, rest of the components in the bracket you can write down like bulb, and rest of the components like bulb. There may be a number of components in the electric circuit. One example you can write down as it's given in the book, like bulb. Okay, and rest of the components in the bracket write down like bulb in an electric circuit. Next, write down what is the conventional direction. What is the conventional direction of flow of electric current? Write down the conventional direction of electric current. The conventional direction of electric current is opposite to the flow of electrons. Is opposite to the flow of electrons. Conventional direction of electric current is opposite to the flow of electrons. Okay, now whenever asked, we won't say that it is the flow of the positive charges. It is along the direction of the flow of the positive charges. Okay, what we will say, it is opposite to the flow of electrons. Okay, because the positive charges cannot flow in the metallic conductor. What are the, in a conductor, in an atom, you know that there are two kinds of charges, electrons which are revolving outside the nucleus, and the positive charges or the protons which are well bound inside the nucleus. So in a metallic conductor, there are a number of atoms. The electrons which are in the outermost shell, they can move from one end to the other. But the positive charges which are well inside the nucleus, they cannot flow from one end to the other. Okay, so we will not say that it is the flow of positive charges, because these positive charges cannot flow from one end to the other. What are the charges which are flowing? These are the electrons. Okay, later on these electrons were discovered, and then it was said that the conventional direction of the electric current is opposite to the flow of electrons. Okay, now we come to electric current. What is an electric current? One definition we have studied, that it is the rate of flow of charges. That is charges flown per unit time. Here, page number 200. If a net charge Q flows across any cross section of a conductor in time t, then the current is given by I is equal to Q upon T. Okay, so what is electric current and how is it defined? It is the rate of flow of electric charges, or you may say that the electric charges flowing per unit time through any cross-sectional area, through any wire. Okay, if there is a wire, it will have obviously have some cross-sectional area. Though it may be very thin, but still that circular cross-sectional area will be there. Okay, so the rate of flow of charges per unit time, we call it as electric current. Now, if the charge is given by Q, let us represent. Generally, the charge is represented by Q. It may be by capital Q or small q. Okay, in some of the books it may be written by small q, or in some of the books it will be by by capital Q. So the current is represented by I. I is equal to charge flown per unit time. Charge here is represented by Q, time by T. So what is the formula for the electric current? I is equal to Q upon T. Okay, now here the SI unit of charge is coulomb. Okay, the SI unit of charge is coulomb. Okay, coulomb is what? A name of a scientist. He gave one very important law which you will study in class 12, Coulomb's law. Okay, let's leave it here. So, in order to honor that scientist, the unit of charge is taken as coulomb. Okay, so what will be the unit of current? Unit of current is How much coulomb per second? Coulomb is generally represented by capital C. Coulomb per second. Okay, now if you remember the SI units, I think I taught in class 9. How many SI units? Fundamental units are there in SI system. There are 7 fundamental units. Do you remember the first 3? Meter, kilograms, seconds. Besides these 3, this forms the MKS system. Meter, kilogram, second. MKS system. Besides these 3, in SI system, 4 more were added. And what were those 4? Ampere for electric current. For electric current. Kelvin for temperature. Candela for luminous intensity. Okay, and the last one is mole for amount of substance. So these are the 7 fundamental units in SI system. Okay, by ampere. So what will be the SI unit of electric current? It is ampere. Okay, so the SI unit of electric current is ampere. This coulomb per second is taken as ampere. So 1 ampere of current when 1 coulomb of charge is flowing for 1 second. So then we say that the current is 1 ampere. So here you can say that the SI unit of current is ampere. And what is this ampere equal to? Coulomb per second. From this formula, what do you see? Coulomb upon second. This coulomb upon second, we call it as ampere. So the SI unit of electric current is ampere, which is equal to coulomb per second. Let's read it, what is given over here. The SI unit of electric charge is coulomb, which is equivalent to the charge contained in nearly 6 into 10 raised to the power 8 electrons. Okay, so 1 coulomb of charge, then it will be when how many electrons will flow? 6 into 10 raised to the power 18 electrons through any given cross section. If 6 into 10 raised to the power 18 electrons are flowing, then we say that the charge is 1 coulomb. Or simply you can understand that 1 coulomb is the flow of 1 coulomb is flow of 6 into 10 raised to the power 18 electrons. 1 coulomb of charge will be equal to how many electrons will flow? 6. Because we know that what is flowing through the metallic conductor, these are the electrons, not the positive charges. So how many electrons will flow? 6 into 10 raised to the power 18 electrons will flow. Then we'll say that how much charge has flown through that cross section? 1 coulomb of charge has flown. So 1 coulomb is equivalent to the flow of 6 into 10 raised to the power 18 electrons. Okay, so what will be the charge on 1 electron? If it is 1 electron, how much it would be? 1 upon 6 into 10 raised to the power 18 coulomb. So what will be the charge on 1 electron? Simple unitary method. 5 bananas cost 7 rupees. So how much 1 banana will cost? So this way. So 1 coulomb is how much flow of electrons? 6 into 10 raised to the power 18 electrons. So what will be the charge on 1 electron? If 1 electron is flowing, what will be the charge? 1 upon 6 into 10 raised to the power 18. When you calculate it, this comes out to be 1.6 into 10 raised to the power minus 19 coulomb. 1.6 into 10 raised to the power minus 19 coulomb. So what is the charge on 1 electron? 1 electron has got a charge of 1.6 into 10 raised to the power minus 19 coulomb. Okay, so 1 coulomb is flow of 6 into 10 raised to the power 18 electrons. So what will be the charge on 1 electron? When 1 electron is flowing, it will be 1.6 into 10 raised to the power minus 19 coulomb. Okay, so we'll continue tomorrow.